We have to solve for this integral problem here. Integral from 0 to 2, absolute value of x minus 1 dx, correct? So in this case, we're dealing with an absolute value problem. So the best thing to do here is to be able to see where your actually graph or function splits, okay? So to do that, you have to take the initial function, solve it equals to 0. So what does that mean? That means if I take x minus 1 equals to 0, I have to solve for x there. So x equals to 1. So that means value 1 for x is where your graph is splitting, okay? Or your function splits. What does that mean? Literally, that means you're going to have 0 to 1 of this function here without the absolute value. So that is x minus 1 dx, okay? Then plus, you're going from 1 to 2, x minus 1 dx. However, there's a part where the function is going to be a negative function. It's going to be a negative function, and then the other side is going to be a positive function of the same function. So what do we need to do is to be able to determine which one of these two functions is negative or positive, all right? And to do that, what we got to do is to definitely go inside the range here and choose one value. So between 0 and 1, we can choose half, for example, right? And then we will substitute that half inside here and see the sign of that answer that we're going to get, okay? So that means if we take it, we just said half. So positive half minus 1 equals to 0. Half minus 1 is what? It's negative half. Not equal to 0, I'm sorry. So what does that equal to? Negative half. Okay? So that's a negative number. Because that's a negative number, that means this function here is a negative function, meaning this is supposed to be a negative function. All right? So then we got to do the same thing here. So you got to come here, look for the value in between the range 1 and 2, so we can choose what here? 1.5. So if we choose 1.5, so we got to do the same thing for the function. So for that one, so 1.5, that is 1.5 minus 1, okay? Which is going to give us what? Half. Positive. So this one, because this one is a positive half, so that means this is a positive function. And this one stays like that. Now, we got to go and solve for these integrals the way we already know how to do them. So, what is the integral of x minus 1? So we have the negative sign that we kick out. So what is the integral of x? Is x squared over 2. And then what is the integral of negative 1? Is just negative x, right? So we have that from 0 to 1. Are you with me? And then you come here, plus what's going to happen here? Same thing. What is the integral of x? Is x squared over 2. And the integral of 1 is x. So you have it now from 1 to 2. So as you guys can see, so it depends on where you are, for the function, because we split the function already into two parts because of the absolute value of it. So now we will be able to solve for each of these, right? So this one, negative, we keep it. And then what's going to happen here? So 1 is going to go there. So it's going to be 1 second power over 2 minus 1. All right? So that's for the first part here. Minus, now the 0 got to go in, right? So that's 0 squared over 2 minus 0. Okay? So this is the one that we have for that. Now we come here. So plus, what's happening here? This one, then the 2 is going to go in. So it's going to be 2 to the second power over 2 minus 2. All right? For the first one. And then minus what's going to happen. So 1 is going to go now. So it's going to be 1 to the second power over 2 minus 1. That's what we have. Okay? So we continue. What is 1 to second power? It's going to be 1. So it's 1 over 2 minus 1. And let's don't forget about the negative sign there. So minus 1. All right? Then 0, 0, that would be 0. So you don't really need anything after that. So plus, so what's happening here? This one is 2 to second power is 4. So it's 4 over 2. Minus 2. All right? Then what's happening here, this one is 1 to second power, which is 1 over 2. So the minus sign, we change this one to a minus. So that'll be minus 1 over 2. And then the negative one here, the negative sign, we change this one to a positive. So that becomes positive 1. Are you with me? Okay, so let's keep going. Then half minus 1 is negative half. So negative half here, and then the negative here, we change it to a positive half afterwards. Plus 4 divided by 2 is 2. 2 minus 2 is 0. And then, so these 2 is 0. And then you have negative half plus 1. That will give us what? Positive half. So it's plus half. So 1 plus 1, ladies and gentlemen, equals to 1. And then we finished. Okay? This is not that bad, right? You got to take your time, understand what's happening, step by step, and then you should be fine. And remembering that you always got to take the function, set it up equal to 0, so that you can see where the function is split. Okay? Thank you.